Hello and welcome to the News by Standards. Seymour Stein, the legendary New York music executive who signed Madonna, Talking Heads, The Ramones and many more, has died at the age of 80. Stein set up record label Sire in 1966 and became a key figure in the punk, new wave and pop scenes. He introduced UK acts like The Smiths, Fleetwood Mac, Depeche Mode, Seal, The Cure and Madness to the US. The music he brought to the world impacted so many people's lives in a positive way, his daughter Mandy said. One of the most successful talent spotters in the business. His other signings include Ice-T, The Pretenders, K.D. Lang and Richard Hell and the Boy Doids. Stein got into the music industry at the age of just 13 in the 1950s, when he persuaded industry paper The Reward to let him have a desk in his office. He would go there after school, copying their charts from the previous 20 years into a notebook and educating himself by working his way through bound back issues. At school, he listened to music on a portable radio in class, convincing teachers it was a hearing aid and he was slightly deaf. When rock and roll came in, I was part of it right at the ground floor, Steiner told BBC News in 2008. I was blown away and it took over my life. After choosing a job with Billboard over university, Stein joined King Records, which launched James Brown's career before working for songwriters and producers Jeremy Leiber and Mike Stoller in the Brill Building, the hub of the New York music industry. He started Sire with songwriter Richard Gautier with its tennis ball S logo. Sire made its name in the 1970s after Stein signed the group that are widely regarded as the first punk band. Stein had arranged to see the Ramones in 1975 but fell deathly ill, so sent his wife Linda a teacher instead. She came back raving, he said. I just drank so much chicken soup that I was unable to go down the next day and hire a little studio for an hour to hear them perform. In 15 minutes it was all over. They must have played about 15 or 18 songs in that short space of time. Everyone was awed by their demeanor, but to me it was the songs. I heard great melodies. It was at a Ramones gig that Stein chanced upon another great New York band. I got goosebumps all over. He recalled of seeing Talking Heads for the first time. I stood there frozen, and when they finished, I jumped up on stage and helped them with their equipment. I tried to sign them immediately, but it was the longest courtship ever at Sire Records. They eventually signed 11 and a half months later. Stein himself claimed to have coined the term new wave, but his greatest coup came in 1982 when a DJ called Mark Cummins suggested he listen to a new singer called Madonna. Stein was recovering from a heart infection at the time. I was in the hospital. I had her come to see me in the hospital, he said. We talked a deal in the hospital and we did the deal in the hospital. Within days, even before they got out of the hospital, she was starting to record what became her first single, Everybody, and we were off and running. Madonna's desire to succeed clinched it with Stein, he said. Writing on Instagram following the news of his death, Madonna described Stein as one of the most influential men in her life. I saw her staunch determination and I knew she would work as hard as I did and much harder, in fact. And that's what you need in an artist. She worked harder than anybody. Stein was a lover of UK music and was a partner on Fleetwood Mac's first label, Blue Horizon, and signed licensing deals with UK labels like Rough Trade and Creation. He snapped up the Smiths after a gig at the ICA in London. I signed the band right after the show, before I even cleaned away the glare delays I had been pelted with from the stage by Morrissey. In the notes of a 2006 Sire box set, guitarist Johnny Marr recalled he was one of the only people in the whole of the States who got it. We wanted to be on Sire. Depeche Mode singer Dave Gahan wrote, he had the courage to sign the type of bands that I grew up listening to when everyone else was scared and baffled. Echo and the Bunnymen's Ian McCulloch said Stein had the best taste and ears I've ever known, while Creation founder Alan McGee said he was my role model in the music business. In 2005, Stein was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which held his ability to hear the future. Introducing him on stage at that ceremony, Ice-T said, when you take the mighty lemon drops, the Ramones, Madonna, Talking Heads, Depeche Mode, Ministry, Ice-T, you put them together, it doesn't seem like they go together. But they do, they all had an edge. That's what Seymour was into.